One of the nice things about the new 3DWOX1 is its ability to use not only the chipped proprietary filament, but also open source filaments that you can purchase elsewhere. Let's take a look at how that works. Normally, when you're using the chipped Sindoh filament, on the main menu you see cartridge with load, unload, and unlock, and it says cartridge at the top. So the first thing you need to do to use open source filaments is go into settings and go to the fourth menu, the last option, open material. Click that and open material, turn that on, say OK. It'll say change successfully, and then it prompts you with various warnings that this is not Sindoh filament. You might have problems. Are you sure you wish to continue anyway? Say OK and OK. Now on the main menu, it doesn't say cartridge, it says filament. And here's load, unload. Unlock doesn't apply here. Get your open source spool of filament. Get it ready to load in this fashion with the end coming up around the front, as I show here, and get ready. On the display, click Filament, then Load. It'll say make sure there's no filament in the guide tube. Okay. Now you have to choose what type of filament, PLA, ABS, other filaments that are at higher temperatures. We'll go with PLA. Say OK. And now it just tells you basically how to insert the filament, and I'm going to show you a close-up how to do that. Hit OK. Now the feed mechanism will start running, the gears will start spinning, and I'll show you where to insert the filament. The picture on their display is very difficult to see, so I'm going to zoom in here and show you. Now on the left, there's this little plastic piece, there's a bar. And what you want to do is go over top the bar like this with your filament as it's feeding. Again, here's a photo showing the filament going over the bar. We insert the filament, and it will grab on to the gearing mechanism and the roller in there. And here we go. You can see it pulling it in, and it'll pull it up into the tube going into the extruder just as normal. The sensors will catch it, and it'll stop there and it'll heat up. At this point, just follow the prompts on the screen as it gets up to temperature and does some test extrusions and gets set for you to print. Now once you're done with your print and you want to unload, you do filament unload. But there are a lot more steps to go through unloading open source filament, and there's a good reason for that. Sindoh can't guarantee what's going to happen to the end of these filaments down in the nozzle because they're not manufacturing them, and they certainly do not want these things to jam when they're unloading. I work on a lot of computers and take motherboards and electronics apart. I've had these things apart. I guarantee you it's not something the average guy wants to do. So they're trying to avoid having any problems. So the first thing they want you to do, as it says on the display, is to remove the tube from down inside the head into the extruder. So to do that, we start by taking this white clip and just pulling it out from the slot. Now, there's a black ring here. With your fingernail, you want to go around and push that down, and at the same time pull the tube out. Now, see this blob on the end? That's what they're trying to avoid. If that was a big enough blob, when it pulled back in under the display here where the gearing is, it could get stuck in there. I've had it happen. It's not fun, okay? So what they're doing is they're saying, let's take this little end here that's a blob, and to avoid any problems, they want you to cut it off at an angle. Now, you got to be careful. Use some nippers or something. There wasn't enough extruded out here, but that'll basically do it. Now the blob is gone, and now when it pulls the filament back through the gearing mechanism, which is at the end of this tube, it's hopefully not going to get stuck. So just follow the prompts here. They say put it back in. You slide that tube back in, you put the connector, and I always give it a little push down to make sure the black ring goes back down over to the white ring right here. Now it should heat up. There it goes. There the filament goes retrieving back in. Now, of course, it's open source filament. It's going to come out the front, right? So you got to kind of catch it there and spin it. There's no real axle or anything, so you want to keep your spool tight as it's coming back out. But there you go. Okay. That's what we're trying to accomplish with all those extra steps. I hope you found this information useful, and thank you for watching.